sports, 100% reflective. Sometimes it's Raven. Sometimes it's other teams affected. Hold on tight, strap in. It's gonna get hectic. Couch Rider Report, an original sports perspective. Hey y'all, welcome back to the home of original sports perspective from our couch to yours. And I just want to say, hey, I made it. I got my first sponsor. I'm excited about it. I am very thankful for Aventino watches. Look, if you were trying to show class, trying to show your watch, please hop on the website of AventinoWatches.com. You see the link below. Make sure you use Couch Rider Report 15 at checkout to receive 15% off of your watches that you purchase. Hey, I just look at it as an opportunity. I'm thankful for it, but I'm thankful that you're here anyway. So just make sure that you hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and smack that bell so you know when it's going down. And if you like it, hey, do me a favor. Go ahead and share it because I'm on the road to 1,000 wow, and I need your help. All right, now the collection plate has been passed around. I appreciate you. And those of you who've been hitting the unsubscribe button and then coming back in to watch the show, just help me out, man. Help your boy out. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button again. I need you back here. I need all I can get to get there. Anyway, collection plate's gone. Let's move on. As Belichick says, moving on to the Lions. On to the Lions. Let's talk about these Detroit Lions. I'll start with the DBs. So they did not have... The Lions as a whole didn't have a great game on Monday Night Football as they lost to the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers put up 4 touchdowns, but 3 of those were to the running backs and 1 to the tight end. So the DBs had a pretty solid night, but they also had some bad news. So with the bad news, Ismail Ofonwu is on IR with an injury. And then there's another guy, we're going to call him Amani O, because I'm not pronouncing that last name. But he's 6'2" as well, and it looks like Bobby Price came in towards the end of the game and did decent on coverage. Like I said, through 3 quarters, Aaron Rodgers was held under 100 yards passing. So I think that's pretty magnificent. Now, in 4th quarter, of course, they put up 14 points, but hey, for 3 quarters, if you're holding Aaron down, you're doing a pretty daggone good job. I'm hoping Hollywood Brown lines up on Bobby Price because I think the more inexperienced person on the top wide receiver, top 3 in the league according to PFF. Yes, I know it's PFF, but I'm just saying it's PFF, and they doing some film study. They trying to do right. Sometimes they just get it completely wrong because they ain't doing the film study. They just guessing. But I think the way they're looking at Hollywood and the way that Ravens fans are looking at Hollywood, we're excited. Maybe PFF is excited as well. So maybe I won't call them Pro Football Cap from here on out. I'll just say, okay, yeah, PFF, they're doing okay. They got him rated as the number 3 wide receiver in the league right now. I'm like, hey, let's go. All that work in the offseason on Instagram has paid off for Hollywood Brown. Let's go to Jared Goff. This dude was under pressure all night. It's really hard to throw the football when you got a helmet in your chest or somebody's shoulder pads in your chest. And the reason that happened was because the right tackle, let's say Matt Nelson, he just was giving up ground constantly. Real estate was getting pushed into Goff's direction to where he couldn't establish a pocket. This guy, I think he had a couple fumbles and an interception because of the pressure. 2 interceptions through 2 games, 1 interception and a couple of fumbles because of the pressure that was given up on Monday Night Football. And it all came from the right tackle and the right guard. But you can see for the majority of it, it came through Nelson, and it was just, you just constantly see him giving up ground. It was bad. So I'm hoping Owe just tees off on this dude. Just goes completely berserk and shows the league, hey, I am here to stay. And I'm about to wreck games up in here. Just like he did against Kansas City. He was everywhere with all the pressures. Way to go, buddy. AFC Defensive Player of the Week. Let's get it. Let's go. Anyway, back to Goff. So the thing with him is he's got tunnel vision for 2 players right now. One of them is Cephas, and the other one is TJ Hawkinson. They got the majority of the targets both Monday and the previous week in week 1. And Cephas through 2 weeks has 13 targets from Jared Goff. So you can see that chemistry. They're going to continue to build on that against Baltimore. but Baltimore's got to come out with the right package against it. And you heard me talk about T.J. Hockenson. You already know he is the biggest problem that Baltimore is going to have. Baltimore's had issues with tight ends for the last 2 weeks. They've given up 214 yards and 2 TDs to tight ends in the last 2 weeks because it's just they can't seem to tackle after the catch, and they can't seem to hold these tight ends whenever the zone packages are being brought on the field by Wink Martindale. So you're like, all right, well, how do you stop these things? How do you stop these beast tight ends from doing what they're currently doing to Baltimore? Because when you decide to man them up with Marlon Humphrey, they're just simply going to go and use a whip route or an out route to one of the slot wide receivers, and they just seem to be getting over on Tavon Young right now. So how do they stop it? Well, of course, you got to go a combination of things. I still say use a little bit of man in the midst of the defensive packages. You got to mix it up a bit. But for the most part, I'd say Baltimore needs to go back to a zone with the outside linebacker or defensive end giving a lovely chip to the tight end, T.J. Hockenson. Because if he doesn't get chipped at the line, he is going to get loose, and those drags and cross routes is exactly where those tight ends make the money. And the reason being, if you put it in bracket coverage, and have a safety over top and an outside linebacker or middle linebacker covering the tight end, if there's a slant, it just goes right in between, and that safety does not have enough time to get down to go make that tackle on the tight end. And if the tight end's in open space and the safety's trying to make a tackle, there might be a size difference. And then that's where Baltimore messes up on the tackles, and there's just tons of yards after catch after that. So with the chip from the outside linebacker, it's going to knock the tight end off of their route, giving the outside linebacker a good enough time to get in position to make a play or making sure the coverage is there. And if the pressure is there from the line, then you best believe that Jared Goff is going to be on his back before he's able to get that ball out to T.J. Hockenson. It has to be executed perfectly or the Lions will eat. Let's get into predictions. I don't want to keep y'all on today. I got kids and stuff. Y'all do too. Before we get into predictions, let's talk about the run game just for a second. So let's get into the defense of the Detroit Lions. San Francisco had a full-on running clinic against this team. They had 131 yards and 2 TDs. They were averaging 4.7 yards a carry on this run defense. Baltimore might be able to get something off here. They did sure some things up. Campbell definitely said that the defense looked a lot better against the run, but of course it's against a majority passing offense when you think about who they're playing against. The Packers are not the dominant ground game folks that you would imagine. Of course, they want to go to the air. They want to go to Devontae Adams. They want to go to St. Brown, all these different receivers that they have. So you want, that's an aerial attack offense. But of course, Baltimore is built for the ground. Yes, Hollywood's going to eat, but at the same time, Baltimore is made for the ground, as you see with Kansas City. And I'm really hoping that they stick with that approach because that's what they do best. Now, if they have any day like they did, like San Francisco had on the Lions, then you're going to see Baltimore have a wonderful day. It's going to look lovely. All right, so let's get into predictions. Told y'all I was going to sum this up quick, and we're going to get up out of here, folks. I know y'all got kids. I got kids, too. Let's go ahead and get them to bed. All right, so predictions. I think Hollywood is going to have a day. And I mean have a day, because you go back and look at week 1 once again. They gave up some yards. They gave up some yards to Deebo Samuel. And don't get me wrong, Deebo is one of those guys who just got that stiff arm, and he's just a tough guy going all the way to the house. But hey, when you're giving up over 100+ yards to a wide receiver, your defense has some issues. And I'm thinking that Hollywood is going to get loose. He's going to use that twitch. And I think he's going above 100 again because he's done so 2 weeks straight. I'm excited for this guy. I'm hoping he has a really nice day against the Detroit Lions. Next, so I've already pointed out the weakness. The weak side of that line is Matt Nelson. So if Owe lines up on that side, dude is definitely going to eat like Zeke. Or maybe not like how Zeke's been eating lately. You know, I hate to fire off that shot, but Zeke ain't been eating. But Owe will definitely get his on Sunday, and I think he will get at least 1 sack. Another prediction. Sorry, Ravens Nation, I got to bring this up, but I think Hockenson is going to go off. But he's not going to go off for 100 yards. Ravens are going to find a way to focus on stopping tight ends in this defense, and it starts with Hockenson. And finally, this is probably one of those Captain Obvious moments. But I truly believe the way that the Detroit Lions gave up all those cookies on Sunday, week 1, they're going to give up those cookies to the Baltimore's ground game, because if it looks anything remotely similar to how they played against the Kansas City Chiefs, with handling the time of possession, with constantly using multiple running backs, 3 different backs, and letting them just go to town, they're going to have a heyday. They're going to have a heyday, and I believe it's going to be a full-on Ravens day eating up those Lions. This is the home of Original Sports Perspective. From our cash to yours. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and if you like what you saw, please go ahead and share. Make sure, please come back for more, folks. I'm begging ya. Please, I need you back. I need all the subs, folks. 2 claps, fade to black.